Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are making mashed cauliflower. This is my absolute favorite and it's a little bit healthier than mashed potatoes and super easy to make. So you're gonna need a head of cauliflower, some pancetta, a little bit of green onion, and a tiny bit of butter. The first thing we're gonna do is put a little bit of olive oil into our pan, and we're gonna get this nice and hot before adding anything into it. After it's hot, we're gonna go ahead and throw in our green onions that have been chopped and our pancetta. We want this to get really well cooked. You don't want it to be soft, you want it to be nice and crisp. If you prefer it soft, you can do that, but I find it doesn't add as much flavor to the cauliflower. And the whole reason of doing the pancetta is because cauliflower, it tastes really, really bland unless you add something to it. So the best way to do it is to just throw in your pancetta and your green onions, let it get nice and crispy, and then we can mix it into our cauliflower when it's ready. You want to give this a nice stir just every now and then. It doesn't have to be constantly watched. Just stir it every now and then so it doesn't stick too much to the bottom. And while this is cooking, we are going to go ahead and chop our cauliflower. The first thing you're going to want to do with your cauliflower is take the leaves off it that are on the end, if there are any. If not, then you're good to go. But I find that these give it kind of a bitter flavor, as well as they don't blend as well into the mashed cauliflower, as they don't really mash. They just kind of stay in chunks. So we're just going to remove those leaves, and then we're going to cut it in half and then cut it in half again. So you have 4 chunks of cauliflower, and then we are going to cut the core out of the bottom. You don't need to do it out of the top, just out of the bottom. You can see I did it there at an angle. And then we're just going to slice this. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be even. Just slice it so that we can throw it into the water easy enough. You don't want it to be too thick, because if it is, it's going to take a really long time to cook. So if you make sure that they're sliced, somewhat thin, maybe 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, it will cook much faster. So we're just going to keep slicing away at this, and then we will add it to boiling water. That's another thing. You want to make sure that your water is on a full-on boil before adding this, because if you allow it to soak in the water for too long, it tends to absorb too much water, so it takes a lot of time to drain it. So you want to make sure that it's a full-on rapid boil before you add it into the water. And you can see I'm just stirring the pancetta here, checking to make sure it's not sticking to the bottom, and letting it get nice and cooked evenly. Then we are going to drain our pancetta. This is really important because you do not want your cauliflower to be full of oil and gross, because it'll turn kind of soupy. So we're going to drain this, and then we are actually going to line a plate with paper towels and pour the pancetta mixture onto the paper towels and allow it to just sit there until it's completely cooled. You can see I've added the chopped cauliflower into the water, and we're going to allow it to come back to a boil. Afterwards, we will strain it, and then adding a tiny bit of butter. I added 2 tablespoons into mine. We are going to blend this. You can use a food processor, a KitchenAid, a hand mixer, anything you have. You just want to be careful because it is really, really hot, and it does tend to fling out quite a bit. You want to make sure also as you blend this that you keep pulling from the sides, because you don't want your cauliflower to stay in big chunks. Even though it is soft, you do want it all nice and blended and mashed. Then we are going to add in our pancetta mixture, and we're just going to mix this around just really quickly on the lowest setting with our hand mixer. You can do it by hand, but I found that the pancetta kind of distributes the flavor a bit more evenly when it's done with a electric mixer. But that's pretty much it. It is so simple. This is the finished look. It is so incredibly tasty, and the pancetta gives it a little hint of saltiness, and it's just so good. Now you can serve this with gravy, but honestly, in my opinion, it doesn't need it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!